from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
Well, the Raiders are taking over free agency and perhaps, dare I say it, even winning it. Welcome inside. This is Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mariah Janos.
And I'm Mike Davis. We have a former NFL agent breaking down the Raiders' free agency moves coming up shortly. But we have more than just that, Mariah. The Lady Rebels lose a heartbreaker and why WNBA fans could wind up heartbroken. Plus, Vince Sapienza is with UNLV hockey before they head to nationals. But first, the biggest story is how GM John Spytek is killing it during NFL free agency.
Oh yeah, the Raiders entered the day with the largest amount of cap space available, and they end up spending the most, $283 million to be exact. One day, 8 players agreed to terms. The biggest fish caught, former Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum, but Spytek stayed at it, agreeing to terms with linebackers Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, defensive ends Malcolm Koonce and Kwity Paye, cornerback Eric Stokes is back, wide receiver Jalen Naylor, and kicker Matt Gay.
Plus, the Raiders re-signed cornerback Eric Stokes and edge rusher Malcolm Koonce. And guess what? Entering day 2, they still have the most cap space, leading the way with $71 million, so a ton to still play with. We had former NFL agent Ben Dogra, who represented guys like Adrian Peterson, Mario Williams, and more on Sound Off Sports earlier. Here's what he had to say regarding the Raiders' free agency moves.
I think it's an amazing accomplishment. I think it's a true commitment from all the way to the top, from Mark Davis to Tom Brady, to John Spytek, to Tom Delaney, to the head coach. I think they're showing this city we're willing to spend our money. We want to win. We know we're in a tough division. It is a tough division, right?
Yeah.
You got Patrick Mahomes. They might be the third best team. I mean, the Raiders have the first pick, which means they were the worst team. So think about this. They have $95 million of salary cap space, and they have spent all this money. Are they not committed to winning, sir?
It's true, and this turnaround might happen a lot sooner than we even anticipated. So, Mariah, let me ask you this. 8 moves, one day. We both love what GM John Spytek is doing beyond even just the Tyler Linderbaum move. So we're both in love with that. Beyond that, 8 other guys yesterday. What's your favorite signing?
So my favorite signing is the local kid. I'm going to go with Bishop Gorman alum Jalen Naylor coming over from the Minnesota Vikings. And I know at first glance, you even said it yourself, you think the Raiders overpaid big time for this guy. But I want to counter that. And you know who also counters that?
Who?
Former Raider quarterback Derek Carr. He said that Naylor has the ability to play above that contract. So I'm very intrigued by that statement. I think the situation with Naylor in Minnesota, he was too far down the depth chart to make as big of an impact as his skill set would allow him to with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. But he actually had the best connection with J.J. McCarthy out of all the receivers in Minnesota. And when targeting Naylor, McCarthy had a QBR of 98.8. They connected for 3 touchdowns this season. In the last 2 seasons, Naylor found the end zone 10 times. He's a red zone threat, and if he can keep up having a strong rapport, if that's a trending theme with young quarterbacks, we're assuming Fernando Mendoza is coming here to Vegas. If he can keep that train rolling, I like it. Add another deep threat for Mendoza to play around with.
I think it's a good move. Plus, the guy can return some kicks, return some punts. So he's going to be valuable in that sense as well. To me, I love the linebacker moves. Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker. When you move to a 3-4, you got to have some good linebackers in the fold. And the best part, these guys both played at Georgia together, so they're going to have some synergy. And I like when they have a rapport and a connection like that. I think Quay Walker, very underrated. Nakobe Dean, he had some issues staying on the field in Philadelphia, but when he's healthy, he's dangerous. But I also want to mention one other thing. I just think the fact that they even signed Matt Gay, a new kicker, it signals to me that we're done with the old guard. This is a new Raiders team. This is a new roster, a new franchise. So to me, even moving on from special teams players like that, I love that move. And I think it just signals to me it's a new day. It's a new era for the Raiders.
Well, yeah, and that is a perfect segue because, as you just mentioned, Matt Gay now in the fold. That means Daniel Carlson will not be back as a Raider. And taking into account the Max Crosby trade to Baltimore, that takes our list of Raiders who played back in Oakland down to just 2. Colton Miller and AJ Cole, the last ones standing of the OGs. So it's a totally new era of Raiders football. And the future's looking pretty bright just based off of what went down on Monday. But a lot of fans are still having a hard time digesting the Max Crosby trade of it all, which is very understandable. He was the cornerstone of this team for the past 7 years. But let's talk about why Raider Nation should actually feel good about letting Max go.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, listen, I'm always an analogy guy. You guys all know that. On Sound Off Sports, we were receiving calls from Raider Nation, silver and black fans, just saying, listen, we're disappointed. They think the trade is a bad trade, getting rid of Max Crosby and shipping him off to Baltimore for 2 first-round picks. It's not a bad trade. It's an A-plus trade. You get 2 first-round picks plus the 14th overall pick in the draft for a guy who's 29, coming off 2 knee injuries. This is a great move. To me, here's the thing that I think a lot of Raiders fans, the sentiment they're sharing when it comes to why they don't love this move. It's kind of hard to move on from things that are good in your life. There's a nostalgic factor that comes into the fold with Max Crosby. The guy is the face of the franchise, on and off the field. I mean, just a tremendous member of the community and exactly what you want in an NFL player. But just like we had to move on from Blockbuster, Mariah.
Yes.
We loved it, but it was good for its time.
Every Friday was
Friday. I'd go with my brother Hank, my mom, you go pick up a VHS. Maybe they have Home of the Good Burger there, $14, you get a rental. The problem is, it's not working in 2026. Did anybody cheer when Netflix happened? No. But progress is good. We're not getting to Super Bowls with Max Crosby on the roster, unfortunately. So move on from Blockbuster, move on from the way that you identified this team, and embrace Netflix.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. My one message to Raider Nation here: evolve or die. It's the name of the game, especially when it comes to football and when you're changing over regimes here. You gotta get the old blood out of the locker room, unfortunately. Bring in the fresh new blood, rip it down to the studs, rebuild it. We know a thing or two about building things quickly here in Vegas. Have you seen the A's ballpark? It's going up pretty fast. We can expect the same thing here with the Raiders roster just based off of Monday's moves. But we'll put a bow on that for now. Still to come on Silver State Sports Live, the clock is ticking. The WNBA CBA deadline is officially here. We have the latest and even a WNBA aficionado, what a word, on the line.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, so last month, the WNBA announced that a new collective bargaining agreement would need to be decided upon by March 10th in order for the upcoming season to start on time. Well, it's March 10th, and as of right now, no agreement. In fact, it's really been crickets all around. Now, the League and Players Association have been in a 16-month battle over the CBA, with the biggest point of contention being revenue share.
Yep, and here to help us navigate this ongoing headache is WNBA savant Willie G. Ramirez of WGRamirez.com. Willie, have these negotiations been as frustrating for you as they have been for me? Because I'm losing it every day.
Yeah, especially, and Mike and Mariah, thank you for having me, and I appreciate you. It's been frustrating for the fact that, you know, they've had so much time to hash this out, and it seems like they've spent more time pushing each other away, that being the WNBA and that being the union, than trying to get together and hash this out. It's one thing to send proposals and know what you want and stand 10 toes down, as they say, on their issues, but is anybody actually being diligent in listening to the other party, or are we just listening to reply? Are we just listening to argue? Do we already know that we're going to dissent against what we're hearing? Because that's pretty much the impression that I've gotten since this has started, since the Aces hoisted that 3rd championship in 4 years, is really more an agreement to disagree rather than trying to agree. Caitlin Clark said it the other day, hey, let's just get in a room and hash this out. Why aren't they doing that? And as Mike mentioned, you know, the big thing is revenue sharing. They're down to 2 topics, really, and that's revenue sharing and housing. That became a big issue obviously with the women in the WNBA, some of them having babies, or we know we have mothers that are on the Aces, so it can be hard, and we understand that. They don't want to, if they're going, if they're traveling, if they live in a different city during the off season, they want to be able to be comfortable in knowing that they have housing taken care of. So those are the two issues. I spoke to somebody early this morning that was at the headquarters. They're waiting to hear because they were supposed to meet. Nothing has been resolved, but they are behind closed doors trying to hash this out.
Willie, it's a good point. And, Mariah and I always talk about this. I think the biggest bummer with this whole thing is the fact that in the past few seasons, the WNBA has gained so much momentum between viewership, attendance, and just like fandom going through the roof. So what kind of impact is this whole stalemate going to have on that momentum we've been accustomed to the past couple years?
I don't think right now it's had an effect, because I think that you have the fan base that's really behind the players, right, and the union. I think that they're mad at the league. The problem is this: when the issues come out more and more to see what the WNBA has done to sort of negate what we're hearing from the players. Nafisa Collar came out and said, hey, multiple times that they're not getting what they want, or they're not hearing or seeing the WNBA buzz. When we hear what the WNBA has countered with, I find that it may... I don't know how many fans are going to be as in agreement with the players. I'm not saying that Nafisa is wrong in terms of being there for her, for her players and the union. And you got Nneka Ogwumike, Kelsey Plum. They're on the executive players board. I think the problem is that there's only so far you can do to stand your ground when the WNBA has come a long way to meet some of those needs. The problem is that the union wants everything that they got without negotiating. We want this, and this is what we want, and we're not going to dispute it. And when they're saying the WNBA isn't doing anything to meet their needs, they're wrong, because the WNBA has at least come halfway or come a long way. When you're offering 70% net revenue of net, and where the union is offering 26% average, but of the gross sales, that's a big disparity. But the fact of the matter is, the league has come some way. The housing they've offered is to rookies and minimum salary contract players. The union wanted everybody involved for a couple of years and then go down to rookies and minimum salary contract players. So they are coming, they are meeting. It's a matter of whether the union can sort of just put some pride aside and understand that the league has come halfway. How that's going to affect the fans, I think if they strike, Mike, and I think if they hold out, I think that they're going to lose a bit of a fan base, and I think there's going to be some fans that will be upset.
All right, we'll see what happens. We're always a fan of you, especially you always have the pocket square matching the tie, so I always appreciate that.
I have to. I try. The thing that I try to do is always keep up with the best dressed reporter in Las Vegas, and you're standing next to her. So I thought about it today.
I knew you weren't going to say me. I knew that.
I'm about to do some radio, and usually I'm in a hoodie, and I was like, there's no way I can go on. When Mariah invites you on to do something, you got to get G'd. So
100%. Thanks for spending some time with us. WGRamirez.com. Go check him out. Thanks so much, Willie.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Mariah, let's continue this conversation beyond just how great you are always dressed on this show. In your opinion, what is going to happen with this? Because you're plugged in. Is there going to be a player strike? What's the likelihood of that?
At first, I did not think that there would be a player strike. I thought, the players would be a bit more level-headed, and if it really came down to it, they'd say, all right, let's just take what's being offered, and we'll try and move the needle in the future. But as Willie alluded to, a lot of these players that are part of the union are digging their heels in more without really listening to the offer that's on the table, which has come a long way. I'm total agreement with Willie. The players need to take this deal. It's as good as it's gonna get. They're being very stubborn, very prideful in all of this. And I think you take what's being offered, and when it's time to renegotiate and you see how much revenue the league has generated at that next meeting point, you go from there. This is a jumping off point. Take it. Do not delay this season. Do not strike. You will lose your fan base, especially those newcomers that just got on board. It's the worst possible thing that could happen to this league if they do in fact strike, Mike. So it's going to be interesting to see what unfolds.
You're aligned. Even your jacket is the same color as the WNBA
I'm rooting for the W
logo. All right, guys. Well, sticking with women's hoops right now, but moving to the collegiate level, the Lady Rebels were knocked out of the Mountain West Conference conference tournament last night, falling to Colorado State with a final score of 66-59. The Rams jumped out to an early lead that just could not be erased. UNLV did not do themselves any favors, though, shooting just 31% from the field, with SDSU upset in the first round. The Lady Rebels are not going to be in the tournament now, so they just did that automatic bid that they were hoping for in the big dance slipped through their fingers. Here's Coach Lindy LaRocque after the game.
Last 3 years, we've won the first round by an average of 25, 30 points, and that wasn't the case this year, and deservingly so, because Boise State played great, and again, it's a testament to our league. This is really hard. I'm not surprised by this game. Did I love it? No, but I'm not surprised at all.
Tough break for Lady LaRocque's squad. Meanwhile, Josh Pastner and the Running Rebels are preparing for their first round matchup against Wyoming tomorrow night at the Thomas & Mack. The Cowboys are playing well as of late, winners of 5 of their last 6. But the Running Rebels have turned it up too, winning 6 of their last 9 games. Number 8 UNLV versus number 9 Wyoming tip off tomorrow at noon.
All right, coming up on Silver State Sports Live, the Skating Rebels are once again competing for a national championship. We're going live to City National Arena to hear from the team. That's next.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
Well, the Lady Rebel season is over, and as we wait for the Runnin' Rebels game tomorrow night, there's another UNLV team preparing to make a run at yet another national championship.
The defending ACHA champs, the UNLV Skatin Rebels, are having their last practice before they head out to St. Louis. Our guy, Vince Sapienza, is at City National Arena right now with the sophomore forward, Oliver Band. Vince, take it away, bud.
Yeah, Mariah, Mike, I know I'm surrounded by ice, but I am absolutely fired up. Incredible to think about. Just a year ago, the Skatin Rebels were bringing home a national championship, and here they are on the precipice of looking to do it again. As you mentioned, Oliver Band with me. Here's Skatin Rebels sophomore forward. Ollie, talk to me. What is the mood right now? I know you guys are trying to stay even-keeled. I'm probably hyping you up too much, but what is the feeling right now ahead of your final practice?
We're all really excited. We're really confident in the locker room. All you got to do is believe in yourselves and believe you can win it again. And yeah, that's what we believe in our locker room.
All right, so talk to me about this process of what's going on right now. Obviously, here at City National Arena, talk to me about the process between now and that first game in St. Louis.
We're just trying to have our last practice and the practice in St. Louis be, harder than a game to get us ready for it. And we're gonna do a lot of video and prep to get us ready and to show what GCU's, or if we play GCU, what they're gonna bring us. And yeah, we're just gonna try and take it a shift at a time, game at a time, and not look too forward.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit, because coming into the season, even as national champs, you guys had goals. Yeah. One of that was to win your conference. You did that. Yeah. Another was to finish top 4 in the ACHA Division I rankings. You did that. That means the Skatin Rebels get a first-round bye. They're not playing on Wednesday. They're playing on Thursday. They'll play the winner of that first-round matchup. One of those teams is Grand Canyon University, who seems to have the slight edge, a team you have played before. I know you're prepping for both teams, but how excited are you for another crack at GCU?
We're really excited, especially because we played them last weekend, or 3 weekends ago, I guess, at GCU, and we split with them. So, yeah, we're hungry for them again for sure.
Now, one interesting factoid from the season: for the first time in program history, the Scarlet and Gray went undefeated here at home. City National Arena proving to be a true home ice advantage. Did you know that statistic? What does that mean to you to be a part of it?
Yeah, we did find that out a couple days ago, and it was pretty cool for sure that we were the first team to do that. We love our fans, and we love the community, so yeah, it's awesome.
Very quickly, all season long we talked about, we're not going to talk about last year. We're not going to do it. Yeah. This is a new team. This is a new. However, here we are again. How do you take what you did last year and make it part of what you're going to do this year?
Just confidence, and it instills that belief in us. Everybody in the locker room, we trust each other to go out there and do our jobs, and we know at the top of our game we can beat anybody. So.
And obviously you had a lot of community support go out with you to St. Louis last year. The expectation that will happen again. but there's a GoFundMe going around because you guys are not NCAA. You guys are driven by the community. Everything they do helps you do what you do. Talk about the importance of the community and the upcoming gala, the 20th anniversary gala that'll take place later next month.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's so important to us. All of our players, you know, our donors, our coaches, everybody. We love our community. We appreciate the sport, and yeah, we ask for more of it as much as possible.
Oliver Band, Skatin Rebels for it. Ollie, best of luck. Looking forward to see what you guys do in St. Louis. We will chat here soon. Mike and Mariah, again, I know I'm up here. They are right in the pocket, right where they need to be as they get set to leave for St. Louis tomorrow.
Mean, it's so loud there. It seems like he's at a John Summit concert. I mean, get back to work, Vince.
Yes, uns. Thank you, Vincenzo. Good luck to the Skatin Rebs. Meanwhile, the Golden Knights are back on the road in Dallas, looking to collect a couple points against the Stars tonight and reclaim the top spot in the Pacific Division. Since the return from the Olympic break, VGK is 2-5-0. In the last 6 games, the team has led for just 4 minutes and 8 seconds, which equates to 1.15% of the time played. Not great. It's a 5 p.m. puck drop in D-Town.
All right, coming up, this one will give you all the feels. How a member of the Czechia baseball team continues to make a name for himself in the World Baseball Classic. World Baseball Classic, Bobby Witt Jr. lit it up last night with his glove, laying out in the hole twice to rob Mexico hitters of base hits.
Yeah, I've never seen Paul Skeens show that much emotion. It was just a simple smile, but it's rare to see him do that. The Americans win it 5-3. First time beating Mexico in the World Baseball Classic since '06. And how about this story? Czech electrical worker got the call as Czechia was taking on powerhouse Japan. 29-year-old came in the game through 4 2/3 of scoreless baseball. He famously struck out Ohtani back in 2023.
Incredible.
He does it again. He pitches so slow that they can't hit him. We'll see you tomorrow.